All right. Welcome to week 4 pro meeting. My name is Kenroe. I'm your trading coordinator. Today I'm going to be talking about creating melodies or altering melodies through sidechain.
Oh wait, the TV isn't on.
Oh,
I got it.
please. All right. There were some technical difficulties, but we just fixed them. So we're actually going to be doing an entire full tutorial today since I don't really know exactly what I'm doing yet. What's happening? What I did so far though is I created a drum loop right here, which we're gonna be using for this entire song, I guess. They're mostly made out of kick and snare samples that I made, and just some altering between those kick and snare samples. That's all I have. So now we're gonna create some bass melodies and some synths probably, and I'm gonna alter them, just make them sound good or whatever. If you guys want to help me, that would be cool. Um, what's that?
From the drum samples, you're gonna make melodies.
Sure, we can do that actually. Do you guys want to do that?
Oh no, I was
I was wondering that's what you're gonna add, like.
Oh no, we can do that. I'm just asking what you guys want.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Oh no, whatever you're gonna talk about.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm gonna make some melodies first before I kind of show what's happening. But yeah, I like that idea actually. So if you guys didn't hear what Sam said, we're gonna grab drum samples and we're gonna create melodies using the drum samples, or create a synth using the drum samples. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this one thing. It's free on Ableton. It's called Granulator. I don't know if you guys know about this, but it's a granulator, whatever, whichever one it is. Where do I have it? It's Max for Live.
Yeah.
Granulator. There you go. And what it does is it grabs a sample. You can put a sample on it, and you can grab a grain of that sample, which is usually a space of between 10 to 50 milliseconds, and then it'll just keep looping that. This is kind of like the basis of wavetable synthesis, where you grab a small wavetable and you keep looping that with that wavetable. So that's what we're going to be doing with this instrument over here. So let's grab a drum sample. Let's do a kick or snare. Let's do snare. Okay. So I'm going to grab this snare, and I'm actually going to drag and drop it here. So now I have this is here. It shows you everything in hertz. So it's kind of a little bit difficult to understand that. But then you can also, there's a file position here which allows you to move the sound there. So what I can do is let me have my So you can see I can move this and those sounds, and then I can lower the grain size. Kind of like that. So let's grab a small place. I like that right there actually. But we're gonna go change the view real quick and open up this little thing because I don't like the release time on that. There you go. Maybe you give it a little bit of an attack. If you want, you guys can go crazy. You can FM it to a sine wave as well, which is really cool function. It does it all through frequency though. It's not through coarse pitch, which is kind of weird, but I mean, it works, I guess. You can go crazy. I'm gonna do a quick MIDI here, I guess. I'm just gonna do a really steady like bass sound, it's just gonna do that. It's not gonna do a lot of melody changes unless you guys want to do melody changes. But I'm just gonna do something a little simpler. So I'm just gonna do something like this, and I'm gonna see if I can do a pitch bend. Let's see. Apparently there's no such thing as pitch bending here, so I'm gonna have to do something else. The good thing about this granulator is that there's actually like a pitch position here, and you can automate that pitch position if you want to. So if you do that, you just do that, and then the tune right over there says you can change the tune now from here. So I'm gonna like change. I think up to here is fine. And I'm gonna go down like maybe like 7 semitones. Alright. Now the automation's kind of weird. I'm gonna make this bigger so I can see what I'm actually doing. Make it a little bendy, because we like bendy, trust me. Too bendy now. That sounds okay. You guys can say it, it sounds like crap. But I mean, that's how everything starts in music production. Everything just kind of sounds like crap. And then you kind of just like add a lot of things. And it makes everything sound good. So for now, I'm gonna like add, this is too loud, so I'm gonna lower down.
It sounds like a really cool garbage can rolling down a hill. A cool garbage can.
Alright, let's see what I can do here.
Painted on it and like.
It's like cool.
So what I'm doing here is I'm just adding distortion, and then it makes everything louder because of the distortion. Let's put an auto pan on it, and I'm gonna automate this auto pan later actually, so I'm not even gonna touch it for now. And you know what, a good thing you can do too is you can grab like some EQ, and then try to like increase like certain harmonics in this track. So now it kind of has that kind of like sound. And what you can do is you can add redux to that. Too much, I guess.
It's like a downsampling.
Downsampling.
Crushing.
Huh?
Is it like modern talking? Are you trying to make like the modern talking?
Not necessarily. I'm just making like some sound. I guess I'm gonna try to lower down this octave because I think it's too high. Actually, that sounds okay. Um, there's a way for this to sound to like look. There I go. That sounds okay. Um, so now we got that sound using granulator, using just the what's it called? Just the snare sample that we had in the beginning. I actually don't want to read that. I'm gonna keep it like that for now. I like that right there. And then a cool thing you can do with auto pan is you can automate the amount, so you can kind of make it like sound pretty cool. So you can do like that's too much, so let's bring it down like a notch. Alright, that sounds okay for now. And then we're gonna add our basic side chains. And then we're gonna be doing two different types of side chains. The first type of side chain that we're gonna be doing is just your basic side chain using your like with your kicks and your snares, so just so that it doesn't clash with each other. So what I have here is just a kick and a snare and a kick and a snare. And the way I do my side chains is that I use FabFilter Pro C, which is routed to this little click track right here. It's literally just a click track, and then I just basically sidechain it based on this click track. So what I do is I just like draw in the MIDI note of or MIDI clip here with the click track, and we'll just sidechain it basically based on wherever those MIDI notes are. So. And then I'm just gonna keep repeating this loop for now because I don't want to deal with what I'm gonna show you later. Huh? What's that?
Have you ever messed around with Pro MD for sidechaining?
For with what?
For sidechaining, Pro MD.
No, I actually have not. What's that?
Oh, it's pretty cool. You can actually do different like, frequency ranges and stuff, as well as like mid-side processing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like that's the multi-band. Basically, Pro MB is the multi-band compression. And you can sidechain using Pro MB instead of using Pro C2. And what it does is instead of it compresses every single thing, it compresses only certain frequencies that you choose to compress while it's sidechaining. So you sidechain, you can literally only sidechain the low ends or just the high ends or just the mid-range. Or you can have different types of sidechain for every single band. So you can have a complete completely gone on the bass, and then the mids are a little bit sidechained, the highs are completely untouched. Something like that. It's like pretty cool concept. I don't use it because I just do like regular sidechains anyway.
For most cases.
Yeah, it's like a very like it's like a cool thing to do. It's not necessarily like something that you would do for every single track.
Yeah, not all the time.
Yeah. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add like my own different side chains, um, to now make kind of like melodic cuts using this using like Ableton Live Compressor. So I don't like the built-in compressor of Ableton, like Ableton Live Compressor. So I actually use the Live 8 compressor from Ableton Live 8. If you guys want this specific one, you can actually just grab it online, just search it up, and it's free. And the reason why I use this is because Live 10 compressor and Live 9 compressor usually introduces a lot of clicks when you're sidechaining, which is very nasty to listen to. But with Ableton Live 8, for some reason, the algorithms that they use for compression gets rid of all the clicks. Not all the clicks, but it's like a lot more, like a lot less clicks than just what you get on Live 9 or Live 10. So let me see if I can find it. There it is. It's called 8 Comp right here. I'm gonna just like turn on the sidechain there, and I'm gonna add like a bass melody here, and I'm just gonna grab like a random kick. It doesn't have to be anything, or it doesn't even have to be a kick. It can be a snare. Let's find a snare if we want to. Hello, snare. And now it's much better to do this on audio file in my opinion, rather than using this in a MIDI file, just in MIDI, just because you can actually see the waveform of what you're sidechaining it to, and then you can do like really cool tricks with it. So now let's do sidechain input from 14, which is where the snare is. It's called hip snare because it's a hip snare. And then what you do is you just get rid of the volume of that, so now you can't hear that snare whenever it happens. And then the sidechain just happens. It's not being sidechained right now because I need to put down the threshold. Yeah, something like that, right? And there's a lot of things you can do here. There's multiple different ways of automating your sidechain. I'll show you a couple different ways in a bit after I like start doing like my sidechaining. So let's try to make this a lot better in terms of scaling it. So I'm gonna scale it to 1, 2, 3, 4. Fuck. Get rid of that. Do a little bit of this, and then turn this into another audio file. So now you can just work with this. I don't have to worry about doing the fades and stuff like I did earlier. But you can still do that. Like it's like I just want to do it this just so that I have like an actual like 1/4 beat. Is that 1/8 actually? An 1/8 bar snare. So I'm gonna lower down the threshold. I'm gonna keep the ratio relatively high, like 3 or 4. I'm gonna actually bring up the threshold a little bit because it ducks it too much. But now you can do stuff like this. So now like you're altering the sound of your thing just by adding these little like and you can using the fades you can even like lower the sidechaining, like the how long it's being sidechained by, just by altering the fades here. So I'll show you that right now. Let me try to figure this out real quick, how I want my melody to sound like. And I'll automate that in a sec. But I'll show you how you can also make the sidechains like shorter. All you literally have to do is just do this. Where'd my sound go? Where'd my sound go? If you notice, when this hits, it's a lot shorter. Like the ducking process, like it ducks it the same amount, but it disappears right away. Without me having to like mess with the release time on this. And then you can kind of like if you have enough time like in your life, you can literally like adjust the fade of every single one of those snares. So every single one of those stabs sounds a lot like, I guess, like shorter or different. And you can also like change the way these look like. So you can do something like this. So now if I grab this sound, take it to resampling, get rid of the sound here and this, so that we can only just hear the sound. Now I can grab that. I'm gonna turn off the limiter here real quick, and then I can record this sound right here. Take off record. So now you have all these. Let me bring this up a little bit. Put on complex. Now you have all these weird like instances of sidechaining, weird instances, like different instances of like just your sound, and you can actually like turn this into some really cool stuff. Like one of my favorite things that I love doing is to grab, let's say, this sample right here, and it just sounds like that. But you got this little like fade in there, and then now you can consolidate this. Let's bring this back to texture for now, and then let's do this. And then taking this, for example, grabbing reverb on it. I have to turn this off. Actually, let's consolidate that. Do this, reverse it. Do this, and then you can do something like this. Freeze this entire thing. Flatten it. So now I can grab this entire sample and actually bring it to the actual sound, to the actual song that we have. Let's reverse this again. So what I made here now is kind of like a reverse reverb thing. You see this a lot in a lot of like EDM music. And now that sounds exactly just like how your entire song sounds like. So now if I can, I have to EQ this because there's a lot of low ends in that thing, and I don't want a lot of those low ends at all. So let me grab some of the low ends. Out with you. Just like that. So now I can like add the entire song again that we had. Let's get rid of all this actually. I'm just gonna I don't like the sound, honestly. I guess that we're stuck with that sound now, so we'll just keep it like that. But I was telling you guys about how to do like automating the sidechain. One thing you can do is you can grab either. There's two different ways of doing this. Let me bring up the automation clip real quick. The one of the ways you can do it is to grab the threshold and literally just like automating the threshold up. Hello? There you go. Something like that. So now like you can hear like these kind of disappear. The sidechain on these kind of disappear after a while. You can hear it, you can see here on the gain reduction. And then let me see. I'm just gonna copy this honestly. Let me fix this because it sounds really bad. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, actually, that sounds decent enough. Still pretty bad, but it's decent enough. You can fix it like probably with an EQ, and you can add like a bassline to it, and that's probably what I'm gonna do right now. There you go. That sounds a lot better. And then you can add like a bass line to it. And I'm just gonna copy this. Literally grab like an operator sample or something. I'm gonna copy the sidechain, put it here instead. Just add a little bit of saturation into this. I don't want that saturation. I'm gonna get rid of the auto pan because it sounds awkward now. And well, sound better. There's a little bit of weird thing happening here. I think that's like a bad position. This is a bad position. I'm not sure which one it is. That sounds
like right before the end of the second.
Yeah. Where was I? Alright, there you go. Oh, okay, that's the issue. Alright, there you go. Lower this threshold a little bit more so you can hear it dramatically like change. Okay, there you go. So that's like the first part of what I was gonna show for like the sidechaining to change your melodies. Sorry that took a little bit of a while because we were doing some like sound design there too. But anyway, next part I'm gonna show is kind of like how to do all this with like a pre-made like melody already, like something like that. And I'm gonna try to like copy this entire portion here to get to sidechain basically this entire portion right here. So what I'm gonna do is instead of using this like Go sidechain, I'm just gonna grab another compressor and I'm literally just gonna do it onto here, and then I'm gonna copy this entire. Fuck! I deleted it. Oh mother. I can't anymore. It's too far.
No, you can keep going back. Right?
Well, it's gonna delete everything that I've added after that. So.
Yeah, but I mean you can.
All right,
So
let's do this again. Let's do this again. Hold on. I'm gonna solo this. I'm gonna grab this, and then I'm gonna add like I'm gonna turn this into resampling. There you go. And I'm gonna record this shit. It sounds so bad without the drums. Anyway, where am I? So this part right here.
Sounds like a transformer with like COPD. Just exasperated.
We can grab this part right here. Do this, do that. Keep it like that. Reverse this. Wait, do that. Reverse. Put complex. Sorry, I'm doing this all over again. Valhalla.
Oh, quick tip. If you just an audio clip and you just hit R on your keyboard, it'll reverse it. Dude, Justin should be there. I don't know. That's like 20.
Yeah, they just released. I haven't downloaded it yet.
Bam, there you go.
Also, if you don't have the little piano icon in the top right enabled, if you press A, you can
Automation.
show or hide your automation.
Yeah.
Change my
It's really, really cool. What I'm gonna do with this so that you can hear more of the reverb is I'm gonna put an OBC. Just like that. I'm just gonna like put this here actually, so you guys can hear exactly what I'm gonna do to this. Where's my this one. I'm gonna get rid of this, put this in here. Show automation, delete all the automation. So now listen to like this one specifically go with the drums. But the drums is not, they're not playing for some reason. Okay, so load. You can even but like the reason for that is you can hear it here, and that gives us this really nice like erosion kind of sound. Like you don't necessarily even need to have that entire like sample there, but you can literally just layer this on top of like your drums. And then that's a very low volume, so let's bring it up even. And you can hear with Ableton Live 8, there's not a lot of clicking in there. If you use like Ableton 10 compressor there, you're probably gonna hear a crap ton of kicks. And that's the reason why I use like Ableton Live 8 compressor. Even if I put the attack all the way down to 0.1. You can download it just going online and stuff. Or you can reverse this. Sounds better actually reversed. There you go. And even like with like a really quick I guess like drum hit like this, for example, where it does like a little like, even though it's doing that, and usually you don't want to sidechain to something that quick because it'll kind of like just mute the entire sound. With a Live 8 compressor and with like a really small release and small attack, you can like kind of get away with it just because of like what I said. It's the algorithm that they use for Live 8 compressor is really good. And then so now you can have like some basses happening there, and while that's happening, it's just it gives you that like I said, like erosion sound. That's just really cool to have as like a background to like everything else that's happening in the foreground and with your drums and all that too. But yeah, that last part was a little bit quick, but I hope you guys get the idea of this technique. It's a really cool thing that you can keep doing with like different types of tracks. I hear this a lot on a lot of trance music, especially psytrance. What they do is they have that kind of like saw bass that's like a like something like that, and then they have like some noises in the background that's just being completely sidechained straight to like just the basses, and you can hear it like every time it's like a reverb noise that every time the bass hits, it sidechains that reverb noise, and it brings back up every time it's not there. You can kind of hear it like it's really cool. I don't know a good example. I just heard this one time when I was listening to like this one like set on like SoundCloud or something like that, and I was like, wait, what the hell? That's such a cool trick, and that's how I got this idea, to be completely honest. So I don't have an actual song, but if you want to know who was playing then, it was Brian Kearney, and I think it was Dream State from like 2015 or something like that, or 2016. I'm not sure which one it was, but yeah, it's really cool. But anyway, let's play again what we have so far. We have that, and we have this too. All right. I didn't bring back my limiter. I'm gonna bring back my limiter, so maybe it'll be louder. There you go. Any questions so far? All right. Well, I'm gonna probably end the lesson there. Um, if you guys have anything to add to this entire thing, I know like this is a little bit of like an obscure track that I was working on, but at the same time, the idea of this like melodic sidechain like thing too is also very obscure. You don't see it happen a lot. Most of the time, you just see a lot of people just mess with the midis or mess with the release time or the attack time, convert stuff to like audio and actually like do this all themselves. But the good thing about doing this is it gives you more control on like how much you're gonna dip each sound, and you're actually letting some of the sounds go while you're sidechaining it. So you have all this kind of like massive like tails, not actually tails, but they're kind of like tails. They sound like tails almost, which is really cool. You hear this a lot on like a lot of reverb sounds as well, where they sidechain the reverb sounds to like ghost hits, even to hits that are not there, and then you just hear it kind of like dip and then like go back and dip and go back, dip and go back every single time. Especially during like if you listen to a lot of dubstep, you hear this a lot in dubstep, in the reverb. If you just like, I challenge you guys go home and listen to some dubstep, but instead of listening to any synth that they make, just listen to the reverb, literally just the reverb. Um, and some examples of like music with really dope like reverb would be like this, for example.
Oh,
Uh,
you might not be able to hear.
yeah, it's okay. I'm gonna turn off this now.